So there we go. There's the shout-outs right now for Sea Raptor. I'm pretty damn sure at this point all of you guys here are following him. If you're not, what the hell is wrong with you? Go follow the guy.
Cool. I appreciate it, but I'm not fussed either way.
All right. We always start with taking a screenshot just in case you don't die.
Should I spoil it for you?
No.
Okay.
Who's Sea Raptor?
No one of consequence.
Never heard of this.
Never
guy.
heard of him.
Never heard of him.
No one important, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'm glad that you enjoyed our coverage of that Glacial. You were part of XPN, if I remember right. And you guys had some good games in there. Sea Raptor has to die in this one. Oh, okay.
I'm not going to spoil it. Not for anybody but Glacial. Glacial, you'll be receiving a PM from me shortly.
Didn't you spoil it like 5 minutes ago?
I did, but maybe they weren't paying attention. Shush.
And
I didn't hear anything 5 minutes ago.
Whatever you say, begging for the Missouri to save your butt.
Actually, no, that was the Eiger game. That was the Edinburgh game that I just finished.
There you go. Thanks, pirates. All right, so we got the Dirty Water song going, which is what we should have going. Harley Quinn, Harley, good to see you. Thank you for the cheer. I'm gonna.
Hey, I know who that is.
Right. I'm gonna drop the belching sounds here a little bit. Oh my goodness. So, thank you, seriously, Harley. That's amazing. Thank you so much for the 1,000 bits. Oh my god. All right, so. Let's set the scene. You're in the Buffalo, all straight tier 9s. You've got a Georgia and Alsace for battleships. You've got a Jean Bart and a Pommern on the enemy team for battleships. And Buffalo with you, and so you're up against 2 Alaskas with 2 Buffaloes. That sounds balanced.
You'd almost think that matchmaking would be like, hey, why don't you get one of these and you get one of these? But no, that's not how this works.
No, that would break the whole algorithm, Raptor.
It absolutely would. It would destroy it.
So we've got
So Sea Raptor wants to break the game again.
Well, duh.
So they've got 2 Russian destroyers, Nustrashimi and Tashkent. The Nustrashimi's got pretty good concealment, so I would still consider him to be a kind of more of a standard destroyer. You've got a Benham and an Udaloy for your destroyers. So I gotta say, going into this, other than really the Alsace, I'm liking your lineup better than theirs.
Oh, me too.
Okay. Let's take a look. Yeah, Ryan. If you've got a replay, just send it my way. You subbed today, dude, and you also gifted a couple subs. So seriously, we can make it happen. Just My City Self, formerly VT wins for the win. All right. Well, lineup is part of it. The other part of it is what you do with that lineup. As you can see, the Georgia has already been chunked a bit on the other side of the map. This map it punishes cruisers and battleships early on if they show a lot of broadside because, well, you kind of have to get to either side. And it's a smallish map. Now, I do like that you and the other Buffalo have separated so that you guys can work together. Well, not work together, but, essentially lock down opposite ends of the map.
Well, the other Buffalo heard, and now he's coming back.
Yeah, I initially liked that as well. Initially, he split off and went the other way, and then now he's coming back, which... at the time, I was not exactly really in a position to do anything about. I was a little frustrated, though, because you can see the trash can over there. Like, if you're to Benham, you don't want to fight a trash can by yourself. Yeah, you outspot him, but he's faster than you. He'll eventually run you down. So having the Buffalo there gives you the backup you need to keep that guy the F away from you. So
there's one consideration on this, and that would be that it's a Tashkent that's over there. If it was a Kitakaze, Kaguro, whatever... I probably would have been more upset with the Buffalo leaving that flank, but at the very least, maybe he can work with you to, radar lock the Nustrashimi and kind of zone him out of the game, if you will.
Yeah.
But right now, you're about to touch tips.
Yes.
Judging by the mini-map.
He actually is going to go right down my starboard side here.
Oh, yeah.
I almost didn't see him on the mini map before I noticed this pass. Look at this.
Now, Clayhole, you said you were the Jean Bart. Okay. And you said it was an absolute clown fiesta. Well, we're watching this here.
Oh, Fitz, you were the Jean Bart. I just realized that. Yeah.
So I like that the Alaska is getting farmed down. Your Georgia, what the hell has happened to your Georgia?
I have no idea, honestly.
I mean,
I still have no idea. I mean, he's not near anything to have taken that kind of damage. The only thing I can think of is that maybe the Alaska had just god-tier fire RNG over there. That's all I can come up with.
well, if you look at the Tashkent is just farming.
Or the trash can.
So,
yeah, it could be the trash can. I'm just realizing this now.
I'm pretty sure that's what it was. And of course, with the Buffalo switching over, now the Tashkent can do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
That being said, it's a Tashkent. It's really hard to kill those things anyways.
Yeah. I've actually been derping a little in Tashkent in this ranked season so far, just to try it out.
Mm-hmm. She's great. I really enjoy her.
Oh, yeah.
I like the Kiev better.
She's pretty solid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Red Alaska screaming for support because he got stuck bowing and is reversing. So that's his mistake. And he got farmed down because of that. At least your Georgia had the wherewithal to turn around and run. Your Alsace as well, by the way, got bowing and then finally decided to turn around. He's quite low too.
But in 5 minutes, look how much health my battleships have left. In 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yikes. Now, admittedly, ranked games play faster, so maybe I'm being a little unfair. That's fair criticism, but like, yikes, that's a lot of HP to have given up already.
No, it's their fault for not managing it properly.
Right. I agree.
Right about here, I would be radaring. I want to know where the Nustrashimi is, and I want to know what the Palmer
I've got my
is doing.
Hydro up for that very reason. But I'm trying to save the radar. The Hydro I have up because I'm expecting to find the Palmer close to the island. There he is, but there's the Nustra.
Yeah, over by the Udaloy.
That's a smoke Udaloy, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Not the worst thing if you know what to do with it.
I agree.
It doesn't fulfill that first criteria, though.
I agree.
All right, so I'm gonna pause for a second the game, and I think, oh, now we're getting rickrolled. Nice. I think at this point in the game, let's all just take a moment and look at the mini map, and you know, this is the hardest part with ranked, right? Is trying to assess the situation and think about what's going on. Tashkent, I thought so. Udaloy actually has both smoke and heal. It used to be one at a time, but in any case. Let's take a look at the minimap, and let's think about what are the ways that Raptor can get back into this game, or Raptor's team, if you will. He's lost the Destroyer on the opposite side. There's a Buffalo over there. You would hope that that Buffalo, he's the healthiest member of the team, could possibly radar and kill the Nustrashimi. Maybe. But what can Raptor do here? What do you guys think?
Blacklist everybody?
No.
You didn't blacklist everyone?
So, what I might consider doing is heading straight for the Benham. And the reason I might head for the Benham is to get that Tashkent out of the game. Also, allow the Benham to be freed up. He's trying to play goalie right now to a Tashkent, which probably isn't going to work well for him once he gets like detected and, you know, overrun. We need the Benham to block your enemy's battleships, right? The Benham needs to be out there and prevent them from pushing. He can't do that right now. You're not in a good position to really, well, you could try to like last stand the Palmern with AP into his broadside when he comes out of here, but that's a little risky.
No, he would have to go all the way to E6 and turn around before doing that. And that will put him in the path of Tashkent.
Right.
And we don't know if Alaska is repositioned. So it's too dangerous.
Right, exactly. So, I mean, this is, and the problem too is, of course, both your battleships are quite low, and they've turned around, which means that they are now deciding to push. So the other
Now,
thing...
the Georgia has healed back a bit.
Yeah. So the other thing you could try to do is actually play Destroyer, if you will, and move up to the tip by A and radar catch out the Nusashimi. If you and the Buffalo were to coordinate that radar, you could trap the Nusashimi, perhaps. Because with those battleships coming in, you know the Nusashimi wants those battleships, right? All right. Well, let's see what you do.
The problem is Nusashimi does have super heal, so she's very difficult to kill.
Right. And the only way that you're going to kill the Nusashimi is if he smokes up, sits in smoke, and you or the other Buffalo get within like 6 kilometers of him and then pop your radar. And even then, you're not guaranteed the kill. All right, so you've decided to kind of like that second option, work in front. Oh, Tashkent goes down, but not before he takes out the Venom. That's a terrible trade. You really needed that Venom alive.
I would actually accept that trade.
Yeah?
If Benham died, then the Tashkent would walk on to B for free.
Well, that's true.
So-
That's true. There's at least that. Okay, sure.
At least it was a trade, sort of. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't want to lose the Destroyer either, but it worked out that, yes, we both lost Destroyers in that moment.
Yeah. Actually going to intercept the now dead Tashkent meant you could have shot and killed Pommern. Unfortunate.
One of the
Right.
reasons I didn't accept the engagement with the Palmer was because I'm pretty confident he knew that I was there.
Oh, yeah, he did.
And his guns were already looking that way, and I didn't want to come around the corner and deal with that in front of me.
I'm trying to think in my mind. Can Pommern overmatch your bow and stern armor?
No, not if I
Okay.
give him my bow. But at the moment I was in the turn, I wasn't able to complete my turn without giving him more angle than I wanted.
Right.
He could probably overmatch the stern armor, I think, because Buffalo's pretty squishy in the stern, like most American heavies, but not the bow.
So when
it
I was...
should be 27 all around.
Is it 27 all around? It's just that it's flat.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe he can't overmatch, but he's still more likely to hit me through the stern because it's flat.
Nusashimi smoke, you see it. There it is. Rip your
I think it
Buffalo.
would have been worth the risk.
Well, and that was my comment about the last standing, right? Like, you just put yourself in a position to try to kill that Pommern because it looked like he was going to come up broadside. So if you actually stopped your ship and then looked over your shoulder to the left, you might have been able to whack him as he comes around. That being said, he turned south anyway, so I don't know that it would have actually worked out. Now-
Finally, this is bronze, so you could actually get away with some plays just because the enemy is not skilled enough to take advantage. So don't be afraid to use your skill.
Yeah, but again, I agree with you, but the problem is you can't make an assumption, right? To me, you can never assume that the enemy is not smart enough to make a play that you think that they won't, right? Because sometimes they will. Whether they mean to or not, sometimes they will.
Okay.
Sometimes they will, but you will have to make a play sooner or later, especially since your team is not doing well.
Agreed.
So one thing too, I saw before, you're not really using F3 much or trying to, at least communicate an intention with the team. That might be something to consider, like when the Nusashimi was detected, for example, try to just hitting... I do this when I play ranked, and it probably annoys the hell out of people, frankly, but I don't care. I want them to know, like, this is what I'm looking at, this is what I think needs to be done for us to win.
Okay.
Like freaking shoot the guy. Like...
That's
The...
That's good. That's good advice. And to Recon's point in chat, basically saying that's giving too much credit to bronze players. Here's the problem with that. Right now, everyone is in bronze.
You're dependent on them.
Everyone is in bronze. It's a brand new season.
Yep.
So just because someone is in bronze, you can't assume, especially right now in a brand new season, that they have no idea what they're doing. Like, I've seen, like, Fitz is in chat, like the Jambar, right? I've seen Fitz in random battles. I know Fitz knows exactly what to do with that ship. The only reason I was able to move up on him like that is because he can't overmatch my bow.
Right. Exactly. So, going back to the F3 thing, there was a comment in your chat, the Benham. You should have kited back towards A and helped instead of pushing him mid alone to crossfire earlier. Then you'd be at half health now. Oh well. That's a reference to the Georgia, who was upset about, the Benham dying. So, again, that's a situation where you would hope that the Georgia would prioritize a destroyer, especially one that's farming him. Clearly he wasn't. Clearly the Georgia was shooting at the Alaska instead. And you can see now in chat that when people die, they turn to their keyboards. Now, the problem with this is this guy is fighting with the guy who's currently alive. So this guy is fighting with the Georgia, who's probably focused more on chat. Now he's dead, so what's going to happen? He's going to turn to his keyboard, and now he's going to start, stuff up. And that's going to make things more confusing for you and the Alsace, assuming you're looking at team chat. See, there he goes. Okay, so the Alaska is now backing off, or the Alsace is backing off. The Alaska's turning and running too. At this point, all you have to do is survive, both of you, and you're okay. Which means it's not going to happen, but,
Yeah, Alsace can literally go to A1 and he'll be perfectly safe.
Clayhole says his whole team is begging the Alaska to go north. Well, absolutely. The only way that that Clayhole's team will win is if the Alaska can go north and kill somebody. That's it.
Yes, the Alaska has to engage right now. So instinctively, I know where I am. I know where he was. I know he has to be turning around.
Okay.
Now, I don't say anything in chat. My expectation is the Alsace knows, hey, I just need to go be somewhere else. But so that's my mistake, right?
And this goes back to the communication part. This you could have typed again. There's that fight going on between the Benham and the Georgia, but you could have come in there and said, Alsace, back off, don't get yourself killed. Now, you are relatively healthy. You're not as healthy as the Alaska. He's pretty healthy. I think for you, it might have been a good idea to move south to Foxtrot 4 Island on the west side of that, so that you can be spotting for the Alsace, mostly so the Alsace knows where the Alaska is going, because a lot of times I find that when people don't know what to do, their default is, I'm just going to push. And they did that earlier. That's what both of the battleships did earlier. So that could have been... The idea being that you are taking the fire from the Alaska, right? The Alaska's not shooting at the Alsace. Even if the Alsace is dumb enough to shoot, you would hope that the Alaska is tunnel visioned on you. That's when you go broadside or something and risk being citadeled to get him to shoot at you, right?
Right.
So when I'm playing ranked, that's my train of thought at this point of the battle. I'm thinking, how can I make it so that my Alsace doesn't die? I'm going to ask him, please don't die. I'm going to ask him very nicely. I'm going to ping the map where he should go, right? And then I'm going to go figure out where the hell is this Alaska going so that my Alsace doesn't accidentally run into him. But you're still extremely dependent on your teammate here to make that proper decision as well. I'm just saying, you've got the experience. You know what needs to happen. Communicate that with the team. And hope for the best.
The other mistake that watching this now I realize I make, at this point, as long as the Alsace lives, get behind some cover, something, I couldn't just go ram this guy.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Honestly, I could just go ram him.
Yes.
And part of my problem when I'm in a situation like this, I think too much like a destroyer player. My instinct here is go get the cap. Keep the cap lead. You have more ships on the board. If you keep the cap lead, they can't outcap you. You win the game. That's my instinct.
Yep.
So what's going to happen? You can turn it back on. There's nothing exciting going to happen for a little bit.
But I want to comment on something right now.
Do it.
You are taking your guns out of the battle.
Yes.
The way that you're going behind the island, much like you were just said.
Yes.
Safety. I just have to live and I'm good. But if you look at the Alsace, he's turned back sideways.
Yeah, I know.
You have to play assuming Alsace with suicide.
Correct.
You can beat the Alaska.
Correct.
And even if you can't, you can disengage.
But again, here's the other mistake that I made, and I realized it later, about 2 minutes after this, as I hosed this up, is that even if I charge the Alaska and he kills the Alsace, if I ram the Alaska and we have a lead, we win. Right. So all I have, and we have a cap lead, we have about a 60-point lead right now, ish. Even if he kills the Alsace, I have the ability to sit back and keep him out of the cap, wait for us to pick up the lead again, and then ram him. The odds of him killing me bow in are basically very, very small.
Oh, yeah.
I have to really screw that play up, right? So, yeah, we could have still won this game, and again, my destroyer brain says, hey, go cap C, right?
Yep. And now, Alaska turned north, got the kill on the Alsace. Alsace basically did everything he could to stay visible. Like, he had multiple islands he could have gotten behind, but hey, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, well...
I would switch to AP and go in.
Absolutely. That's all you've got
Which,
left
of course... Yeah, exactly. And again, so at this moment, I'm considering actually, like, do I ram him? No. By the time I get on the cap, ramming him will guarantee the loss because they're about to catch it. We're behind. He's about to step on the cap, right? And by the time he's done capping, he'll have us.
Okay.
See, right there.
So
we'll never have the lead again because I've screwed this up. So that's why I turn.
So here's the other part. See, the Alaska's got you on radar right now. You turn out figuring the Alaska's going to have vision on you. What you did was you just gave the Alaska the cap for free. If you had curved in aggressive into the A cap, we don't know where the Alaska is. We can assume where he's at, right? At the very least, you'd get some hits on him. You get some decaps on it. Even if you lose, which, hey, chances are increasing.
Yes.
You know, that's more XP that you're earning. At least you save your star as a result. You've got a really good result so far. Where were you on the scoreboard at the end?
Oh, I had 600 more XP than the guy in second.
Mm-hmm. So you save your star anyway.
Oh, yeah.
But all I'm getting at is, I think the worst thing you could do right now is turn tail and run, because what you're telling that Alaska is, you got a free cap, have fun. And if you go to C cap, well, the Alaska can just go to B cap, and then you're just playing, round and round games.
Yep.
And so what I'm expecting, so look in chat, right? Fitz is basically saying, turn to the gap and look to C. Yep. That's what I'm expecting him to do.
Yeah.
But that's not what he does.
Okay.
And that's what ends up... When I do finally spot him again in a minute, it actually surprises the hell out of me. I was like, what did you do that for?
Because it's ranked.
Yeah.
And how many times have you been surprised in this game already?
I know. Exactly. Watching... Go ahead.
You overestimated the opponent's ability, and that actually costed the victory here.
Yes.
Well,
More importantly, why would he come through that gap? He had you on radar. He knows you're running to C. Why does he need to go to that gap, potentially to die, when he's got the lead?
He doesn't have... He has more health than I do, bigger guns than I do. Presumably the man still has heals.
Yep.
The odds of me killing him in the time that we have left in the match are pretty small.
Yep.
Because, we're both over 900 points now. And see, when he pops up right here, I'm like, whoa, I wasn't expecting that. Okay. So, obviously, he's got AP loaded, so I'm not going to give him an amazing angle. But then he makes a mistake. He grounds himself. Mm-hmm. And in my brain, I'm still thinking, oh, I can finish capping and we can win. But no.
Not if he's shooting
because
at you.
I just... Well, I considered to stop shooting, right? I was like, I could stop shooting and probably finish capping. He wouldn't get you resets.
No. But
then I'm looking at the score going, we still wouldn't be ticking up points fast enough.
Yep. So
I've already, by coming this way, the game, I've already lost.
Yep.
Right? You guys were right. I needed to turn. And the ironic thing is, if I had turned and gone back in along the F line, he wouldn't have known where I was. And I probably could have back capped behind him.
So he had the radar going.
Once the radar runs out, he doesn't know where I am.
Well, yes, but what I'm saying is the radar was on when you had that decision point. The radar was on. You were detected when you had to decide if you were going to turn out or turn in. So he would have seen your decision, whatever that decision was. The thing is, the way that he's been playing this whole game, he's been very, very standoffish in his Alaska.
Right.
So what he's doing is very characteristic of the way that he's been playing. The problem is that you, in a sense, weren't looking at how he's playing the game. You're looking at the Alaska and say, how would I play the Alaska? And you're kind of defeating yourself in your mind. You know what I mean?
No, that's 100% reasonable criticism.
So that was a... Hey, let's be real. Your team made it very difficult for you to possibly win that game.
But I still could have if I had pulled my head out of my ass.
There were a couple of possibilities. And I do this, I usually stream ranked when I play at the beginning. of my stream to get my dailies done. And I always talk about this. You always play for teamwork. If it doesn't work, if people tell you to F off, well, then you just ignore them and play your game. But if on the slight chance that they will actually listen to you, oh my God, I've had some fantastic games in ranked simply because I try to work with my team and say, hey, I'm going to do this. Can you back me up or whatever? So, for lack of a better way of saying it, I guess, don't look at your teammates as enemies. Look at them as possibilities to help you win. And how can I help organize that, or how can I help encourage the movement towards winning versus God, not these guys again.
It's fair criticism, and it is frustrating, right? I think I've been playing the game too long, Zath. I'm getting jaded.
Weren't you also on a losing streak beforehand? So you're probably already tilted.
Yep.
Definitely some of that going on. That was my seventh ranked loss of the day right there. You just watched. So yeah.
Definitely.
Yep. And we heard some of that tilt during the Zath chat. So I mean, Raining, you said teammates as enemies. There's a great meme where people are playing tug of war, and it's like the enemy team, they're all pulling, right? And then you look at your team, and they're turning around and they're pulling from you too. They're helping the enemy team, and it's you, and you're the only one pulling the other direction, right? I mean, sometimes that's ranked, and you look at it, and you're like, guys, you guys, come on, do you actually want to win this game? Like, are you trying?
Right.
But I mean, the problem is all you can do is control yourself. You can try to make suggestions to your teammates. If they don't listen, okay. But it's better than watching them, well, essentially do what they did, and then you go, Right.
No, that's fair. I've gotten into a habit, rightly or wrongly, that I just don't type in game chat because I've found over 7 years almost, it's just not productive, right? Yeah. Usually, as Fitz was saying, your teammates at worst will, most of the time will tell you to just F off, right?
Yes.
So it's like, okay, well then why bother expending the energy?
Right.
But in a format like ranked, I can see the value in it, if nothing else, to say, well, at least I'm bloody trying, right?
Right. One of the things that I learned actually from watching a couple other Unicoms play is sometimes one of the most effective ways of working with chat is to click a grid square and say, watch out for torpedoes here, or look out for someone to come through this island or something like that. Stuff that frankly a lot of normal players don't think about. And then when you bring it to their attention, they're like, hey, you know what? Maybe there is. And maybe I shouldn't show broadside to the side as, I come around the corner or something like that.
Right.
Then again, there are people that are very happy. Like, I saw that clip that you shared with us earlier about that, was it Musashi player? Yeah, when you were near Ibuki. And frankly, no amount of communicating, arguing with that person is going to help that person. They are very sure of themselves. Okay, well, you let them go, you let them do their thing, and you move on. You can't get to everybody. But, I always err on the side of, I'm going to try for teamwork, and if it doesn't work, it is what it is.
Yep.
Cool. Well, hey, that was a fantastic replay to cover. I mean, it sucks that you lost.
I'll get over it. Life happens. Yeah. It was frustrating to have had a game that good and not come away with a win. Especially, I mean, it was a close game, right? We lost 1,000 to 964. So it's not like it was a steamroll walkover game for either team.
Right. No, absolutely. And at least you saved your star. So you come out of that with, you didn't slide downwards, which to me is frustrating as hell in ranked.
Agreed.
So there's that at least. Yeah, but I think it's a good demonstration of, there's always things that you can learn from looking at replays and stuff like that, and
100%. And some of that, again, I'll look back at that game and go, you know what, I should have been more aggressive. Especially against, like, in this situation, this is probably an encounter that ordinarily, in all things be even, I don't want to fight in Alaska, in a Buffalo. No. No. But in this instance, I probably made the wrong call by leaving B, or at least not going back to B, and at least taking him on, trying to cover my Alsace and whatnot.
Right. But hey, it's lessons learned, you know,
Absolutely.
and plenty of ranked to go. So
Sometimes, Zath, sometimes the Bronze League hero is you.
it's like that. God, who was it that tagged Have a Fodder on Twitter? Right, the guy with the machine gun walking forward with the casket on their shoulder. You know, like, I'm carrying my dead team to winning no matter how much they want to lose. Yeah, I mean, so sometimes the carrier is real and ranked, you know, but yeah, it is what it is, right?